Okay. All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our series Ignite. Josh and I, that you see on the screen, we're from the Small Business Development Center in Council Bluffs, Iowa. I've been doing lunch and learns for years and years, mostly on marketing and kind of new topics. And this is definitely a brand new topic. So we're excited about this. We partner with Nebraska Enterprise Fund, who is a fund here over in Southwest Iowa, and also obviously Nebraska, but we brought them over to service our higher than 50,000 population. They are a great resource for us in partnering with gap loans and smaller loans for startups. Just absolutely fabulous. Christine couldn't make it today, but we work and do these together, and we work with hand in hand with every client that we have. So she's a great partner. And if you're looking for more risk adverse funding than banks, or if you're not bankable at this time, they have been a great solution for us. I think today is exploring the pros and cons of using artificial intelligence. I am handing this one over to my techie coordinator dude, who's Josh Baker, who is the SBDC coordinator, and he does a lot of our more numbers tech. He did our cybersecurity class. So keeping in mind that when we teach something, we're teaching it on a level for small businesses. It's on a level of what you need to understand, and you need to know whether you can incorporate this into your business, or if you need to hire someone, but at the least bit, you know what you need. So that's the level that we like to teach. Same with marketing. Outsourcing is great. We are not a replacement for hiring a marketing company, but it is really important for any aspect, whether it's marketing, AI, different tools, law, accounting, to understand what you're getting or what you need, as opposed to going out and outsourcing it and just basically handing your business to someone and saying, do what you need to do. So that's the level that we kind of try to teach. And that's what Josh and I put together, mostly Josh, for this AI class, is what you need to kind of start exploring and understanding what you can do in your business. So I'm going to turn it over to Josh and mute. I will be watching for questions and answering them as they come up. Yeah, so I'm going to turn it over to Josh.
All right. So AI is a scary but amazing thing that's kind of going on right now. So, well, to start off, let's see here. So, what is artificial intelligence? Well, for the most part, usually artificial intelligence, the first thing that usually comes to mind with people is the machines are taking over. They're taking over the world. So you got, for example, Skynet that was taking over the world, overthrowing governments, stuff like that. As you can see, I put in some fun little tweaks here. There's Terminator, and I'm an 80s kid. I don't know if anybody ever remembers Short Circuit, Johnny Five, Knight Rider, Matrix, HAL. So obviously in movies, that's kind of the scare tactic of the world is being taken over by machines. But what it is exactly, so the technical definition of artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems, specifically applications of AI, including expert systems, natural language processing, speech recognition, and machine vision. That is the big technical word for it. So, but the actual simplified definition of that is AI is where you make a computer into a little brain. You help it to learn by giving it a lot of words, pictures, numbers. And if the computer hears your answer to those questions a lot, it can later answer those questions back to you in a correct fashion. So that's the simplest way to kind of explain what AI is. Now, AI, there's 4 different versions. I'm not, this is where I kind of get into my technical part, but I'm not going to get too technical because you can go into these really deep. So there's 4 types of AI that are out there. Reactive AI. So those are task specific and they don't have any memory of what has gone on. So a good example of that would be when you're watching your Netflix and it recommends Netflix recommendations. It's basically seeing that you've, let's say, watched a bunch of anime and it's just recommending another anime that you think you'd be interested in. Now, let's say you stopped watching anime and you started watching a bunch of sports stuff. Obviously, it's going to take that off and it's going to start recommending you sports stuff, but it's not going to start. Remember that you had watched your anime stuff. It's just going to remove that. It's just specifically tasks and it has no memory of whatsoever. The second one is limited memory. So it's a little bit smarter. And it gets smarter as it receives data. So a good example of that would be right now, smart cars that are driving around. So the car can see that there's a yield sign and knows what that yield sign does and what you're supposed to do there. And so when it sees it anywhere on the streets, it's going to know what to do with that, or a stop sign or a green light. Essentially, it knows what it needs to do and it can remember what is supposed to happen. So now the other 2, we haven't really reached that part with AI, so there's not really any specific examples for these, but the next one is theory of mind. So a computer can actually understand an entity's thoughts and emotions. We haven't gotten that far yet. And then the last one is self-awareness. So a computer can actually know what it is, be aware of what it is. A good example of that would be taking I'm hungry to I'm hungry and I know I want to eat pie because that's my favorite. It knows what it wants and it takes something and uses that. So that's the real quick, dry kind of version of the 4 different AIs that are actually out there. So we've only reached 2. We haven't reached those other 2. So. And then some quick statistics that I've kind of pulled up with some AI. So 25% of small businesses are already using AI in one form or another. Here's a really good one. Out of 3 billion emails sent every day, machine learning detects at least half as spam. So your systems can actually scan your email and knows what exactly is spam. And obviously, we still get spam, but imagine how much more we would be getting without those systems in place. In 2020, chatbots responded to 85% of customer service interactions. And the number of enterprises using AI in business has grown 270% since 2015, and between 2015 and 2019. So people are starting to embrace it, and you need to, just because that's kind of where it's focusing, because you don't exactly want to just ignore it. Because AI can be a big help with businesses. So bringing AI into your small business can help you with several different areas. So it can help with improved proficiency and production, enhanced customer service, better decision-making, cost reduction, and increased revenue. A lot of what AI can help you with is those mundane tasks that you have to do every day. It can help free you up for other tasks that they would be more labor intensive. So instead of, for example, having to fish through data to figure out what your customers are wanting, AI can actually see what they're buying and can pick up on trends and stuff and give it to you straightforward. And so you're able to focus on, okay, maybe I need to do some marketing for that or whatever. And it can kind of help you with freeing up your time for those mundane processes. It also can help with workflows and kind of help you with not reducing waste and improving your overall efficiency. So AI is a lot out there and it's available to do lots of fun things. So, and I'm going to kind of go into some more specifics here. So here, the first one, general management. So one of the things, and we use it here at the SBDC, is with appointments. So for example, if your business relies a lot on scheduling, it's kind of hard if you don't have, let's say, a secretary that's able to answer your phones and schedule those appointments and juggle your calendar. Calendarly and You Can Book Me are two programs that are great for using this process to simplify that for you. In fact, we use You Can Book Me here at the SBDC, here at the college, and it saves us a good 4 hours a day, at least with scheduling and stuff like that. Customers are able to schedule their own appointments, and the system's able to look at your calendar and can tell if you're busy at certain hours and able to help the customer schedule for time. Yeah, it can also help with reminders for important meetings coming up. It's a really cool program, simplifies our lives. Email management. So let's say your business is heavy with email correspondence. The system can actually go into the emails that are coming in and out and can tell which ones would maybe be a more priority and can send them to you and say, hey, this one's a top one from Bob from accounting, says that we need to work on a meeting or whatever, and it can focus on which ones that would be more pertinent to you and let those other ones not bug you. So another one, social media management. I know with us here at the SBDC, we have a Facebook account, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Twitter. Going back and forth and posting on each and every one of those, that takes time. But what's really cool, we use here at the SBDC Constant Contact. You're able to actually take one post and you can send that out to all of your social media all at once. So you're not sitting there and having to post on each one individually. So that it's another time saver for that. Excuse me. And then administrative. So a lot of people already kind of use, at least with me, I have an iPhone, so I use Siri all the time. Hey, can you set an appointment for tomorrow for the doctor on my calendar? Remind me of that. A lot of people use that right now. Google and Alexa are also really good examples of that. So, and then on my next slide here, I've kind of got a couple of little visuals here. So this first one here is from Constant Contact. Again, this kind of shows a post, and it's going to post to Indeed, the Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram. And it kind of helps you with walking through how you want to do your post. And the second one here is from Boomerang, which I had shown on the other page. So this is like an email getting sent out to either a customer or whatever, and it's analyzing the length. It's going to tell you, it actually can track if it's polite. It'll let you know, oh, this is maybe not as polite, so you need maybe change some words, whatever. And yeah, it's just kind of a better analyzation of your emails, and kind of can tell, give you a better idea if it's going to be responded to and if it's appropriate, stuff like that. So The next one that AI can kind of help with is accounting. That's kind of a big piece of the pie that it can kind of be a little bit challenging for small businesses. So a really big one is the bookkeeping part. So QuickBooks and Wave are two of them and I'm pretty familiar with the QuickBooks part because I actually help clients here set up their QuickBooks. And it's an amazing program. The AI part with that can it's able to kind of track your expenses and can spit out a report that can help you with some financial decisions, making sure that your business is actually being profitable. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking today. So yeah, QuickBooks Wave is another same kind of accounting program. It's kind of the same platform with QuickBooks. It's just a new, different version of it. So financial analysis, again, AI can kind of help you with making better decisions concerning your business. It's able to kind of take, for example, let's say you have some inventory that's coming in, and on a regular basis it kind of comes in late. AI is kind of able to kind of keep track of that and kind of let you know, okay, here's your reorder point. Since it takes 2 weeks to get here, this is when you need to order it. So it's kind of able to help you kind of keep track of that, keep on top of that kind of thing, so that you're able to make the best decision at that point, and you can release your product and make the best impact at that point. So, and then expense management. I know a lot with small businesses, it's really fun to keep track of those receipts of when you're out and doing business expenses, and you usually shove it into a box and then you give it to your accountant at the end of the year and they're just like, great, I have to figure this out for you. But AI is really cool because it's able to, you can use your phone and you can actually take a picture of those receipts and it can read that receipt and tell, based on the business that's on the receipt, of what expense it needs to be put into, and it can tell how much it is, and it can automatically get that programmed into your accounting so that you can use that information and keep your books up to date. And you got to think too, a lot of these programs have most of this stuff kind of built in, so it's not like you have to have a separate program for each one of these. A lot of them are booked up together, so you got to keep that in mind when you're kind of researching what you want and what best is going to fit with your small business. So, and then I got a couple of pictures here. With QuickBooks, a big thing with them is linking your account, so you're not actually having to manually put in those transactions. You're able to just hit one button and then it pulls that data into your system, and then you're able to do your bookkeeping at that point. And then this is kind of a picture of some of the data that some of these can keep track of your year to date, your budgeting, your variances from last year to actual. Again, great program. It's able to track all that data that could take you 4, 5, 6, 7 hours to compile into this data, and it can do it with just a click of the button. So customer service is another great way where AI can kind of help you out. One with chatbots. I know everybody's had probably experience with those chatbots, especially being on websites and stuff like that, but kind of think of what it would be like if you just had a basic question of, what are your hours for the day? You'd have to go call the person. You'd have to have your secretary or somebody would have to be there to answer the phone to give that information to the customer. But let's say it's midnight and somebody wants to know what your hours are for the next day. Obviously, somebody's not going to be there at midnight. it's able to be your kind of secretary 24/7 and give out that information. Personalization. So when you're selling stuff to your customers and stuff like that, obviously you want to focus it toward that customer's needs of what they're specifically wanting. So with AI, it can kind of track what that customer has bought from you previously and can offer up recommendations. Say, hey, you bought a hat yesterday, maybe you want that towel to match with it. Maybe that'd be a great idea because it had the same design. The AI can actually offer that up to your customer automatically, and you're not even having to interfere with that or anything like that. So AI can also help you with customer insights. So let's say, for example, you have regularly been ordering lotion, hand lotion, and sending that out. You can have customers that have been buying that on a regular basis. AI is able to see that and say, hey, you have 30 customers that have bought this specific kind of lotion. Maybe you should send out a special promotion to them, maybe personalized to those customers saying, hey, thanks for buying this lotion on a regular basis. It's great. Kind of helps you with that customer loyalty, keeps up with that. So, and next page here. So I know everybody's kind of seen what chatbots have done, but here's kind of a picture of what they can do. Just those basic everyday questions like what's your shipping times and stuff like that. You're not having to answer those individually. You can have this virtual chatbot that's able to do those basic, send that basic information out to your customers. And this other page, it kind of is an example of the focus. So it can kind of tell what products have been viewed, if they have a checkout that's kind of started, the products that have been added to their checkout, emails been opened, and times they've been onto your website. So you're kind of able to use that information to your advantage to better serve your customers and keep them happy. So another great one is cybersecurity. So AI is actually able to help you out with threat detection. A really good example of that is phishing emails. It's able to actually go through and can kind of tell just how it's worded or where it's coming from, if it's going to be a threat, and can basically not even direct it to your inbox. It can direct it to a specific email, or you don't even have to actually like see it. You can have it where it'll automatically delete it, and it's able to save you having to figure out if it's valid or not. So another one, a great one, it would be authentication. So for example, on this one, let's say you have an employee that has been logging in regularly from their regular workstation, but you have an AI system programming that sees that there is somebody trying to use that same login information, but it's from a different workstation, which that person maybe never has been there before, or maybe it's not even at a workstation that's even on your premises. Maybe it's looking to see that it's somewhere in China or whatever. AI is able to tell that and can say, okay, we're going to block this, and you need to answer several questions just to verify that you are who you say you are. So you're able to kind of block some threats coming in that way. And then another one that's really good with is fraud protection. So AI can help with the back end and can kind of track, let's say you have a regular customer who always uses their regular credit card information. and is always sent to their regular address, but all of a sudden 3 orders have come in and it's the same credit card information, but it's going to 3 different addresses. It can kind of send up a flag saying, hey, this doesn't look right. We're not going to release anything until you kind of maybe want to have a conversation with that customer just to confirm that everything's a-okay. And it could be a great saver for that, so you don't have to worry about not only your product getting sent off and then having the customer say, hey, I didn't pay for this, but you can also let the customer know, hey, somebody may have gotten a hold of your credit card information outside from our system. You may want to look into that. So that could kind of also go hand in hand with that customer loyalty. So, and I've got a couple of little pictures here, so it can tell if like the sender's spoofing. If you get an email, it'll lock if the system thinks it's going to be like a phishing email, it'll lock the link so it can't be checked or clicked on readily until you actually can verify that this is an actual email that maybe it should actually go through. And then it can do with fraud detection and stuff like that. So the next one would be hiring and recruiting. So I know that with small businesses, not having very many people starting off when you're going, it's just you. So let's say you are looking to expand your employment and your crew. That could be a daunting task, just feeding through emails, just verifying that they're going to be the right fit. So there's programs out there. First one, resume screening. So let's say, for example, you've got 25 resumes sitting in front of you for this one position. AI can sort through those resumes and pick out, okay, this one has a better fit. So I would suggest these 3 and these 5. I don't even know why they actually applied for this position. They would not be the best fit. It can actually go through that resume and kind of pick out, okay, these are going to be good fits, and kind of present them to you. Be like, okay, these are the ones you shoot for first. Candidate sourcing. So putting your job application out there, or your job posting, and just hoping that people come to it. I mean, yes, people will actually do searches and stuff like that, but you can actually have AI actually go out and, let's say, for example, go out onto Facebook, and let's say you're looking for a cashier for your business, and it can actually go through and see posts and stuff. If, let's say, somebody's like, hey, I'm looking for a cashier, who would best be, where should I start? AI can see that and kind of intercept that person's information and send that to you and say, hey, here's a person that's looking for a cashier position. Maybe you should reach out to them. So it can kind of be that person out there that's kind of headhunting for you. And then the onboarding process. So once that person is finally hired, I know that getting started with all of the new hire paperwork and orientation, that's again another time crunch for you to have to figure out. But with AI, you can actually use programs that can kind of help you guide people into the process automatically, so that they get to a point where you don't have to be full hands-on until they're done to a point where they're ready to go. So let's say you have to send them a bunch of new hire paperwork. You can actually see, okay, where are they in the process? If you're using this AI program, you can see where they are in the process, help guide them through that. And then once they're done with that, it can say, okay, you've finished your paperwork. We need to get you orientated with viewing 5 of these videos, and it can kind of track and make sure they're viewing them and make sure that they get all that information. So that once your new hire process is done, they're ready to go at a certain point. Or if something gets stuck, you know where they're stuck at and you can kind of help them out with that. AI is great at kind of helping you keep track of that stuff. And this is kind of a really cool. So Texaco, one of them that I showed, they actually have a program on there that can help with your job posting. So you can type in the actual job posting, they can kind of tell you, here's how you need to word it. If you're looking more focused for a female position to fill this, or yeah, it can kind of direct you with better wording so that it's more understandable for those people that are applying for the position. So the next fun one is marketing. That's another hard one too. If it's just you as a small business owner trying to market yourself out there, it's hard. It's time consuming. But with some of these programs, it can kind of help you out tremendously. So with content creation, AI can help you with actually figuring out a chunk of, let's say, 10 or 20 social media posts, and they can tell you, okay, here's where you need to post them, and it can you can program them all in at once so that it'll send out 2 or 3 a week. And then basically you have a couple months worth of postings that you don't have to worry about doing on a regular basis. AI is kind of taking over that chunk for you. So we use Canva a lot here at the SBDC. It's one of our kind of core ones that we use to do any of our flyers, or in fact our flyer for our program that we're in right now, Ignite, that was all created on Canva. So yep.
Let me just add, so not only kind of tell you where to post and things like that, but Canva, and actually I think what we hear a lot about in text creation is ChatGPT, and these programs Canva uses that technology. So you can use that open technology, but also it's great for, like, I know in high schools we're worried about kids, writing their essay papers. And I just had a conversation yesterday with someone with their child writing their essay paper and getting caught. Not because anyone saw that it was an essay made from ChatGPT, but they caught her texting about it with her friend. But it can be used, like when we came up with this outline for this PowerPoint, which usually we spend a lot of hours scouring through and trying to figure out the outline, and we just put in, write an outline for a PowerPoint for artificial intelligence for small businesses. Of course, we mixed it up a little bit and we changed it a little bit, but it saved us hours of just going, okay, here's where we should focus. Here's some ideas we can focus on. Of course, we changed it. I use it I have a meeting with a coffee house who wants to have a loan. ChatGPT, what are some of the things that I should cover for them? I have a meeting with a business that's starting and they're going into coffee. Give me some points I should cover. I've been doing this 19 years, but it's really nice to run that through, because it's like, oh, wow, I didn't think of that. That's a great point. So just asking it questions and writing things, even, I want to write a blog post on this content, or I want to write 10 Facebook posts about the things that my business can do for your business in the fall, including blah, 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 and it will come up with different posts. Of course, going through and rewording it, making it your own, putting in your hometown, making it local, putting in, different things that makes it more yours, but it certainly does help compose some of those things. I know it's tricky, but for me, that's what I've been using it most, and it's saving me hours, honestly. I am not copying it word for word, but it's just saving me hours of that organization. I kind of think of it as a really, really fast Google, because I Google all day long trying to find these things, and I can do it really, really quick. Anyway, go ahead.
Yep. Another one is ad targeting. So AI can kind of go out there, see what your customer is buying, and can kind of let you know, hey, they're buying a lot of this stuff. Let's target a promotion for them, or let's focus on this age group that all of a sudden has decided your products are just amazing and the bomb. So let's kind of focus on some social media and stuff, ads for this specific age type. So it can kind of track all of that stuff and give you not an educated guess, but like give you a focus of where you need to be relevant at. So just so that you keep better relevant with your customer base that is currently kind of buying from you or whatever. So and here's kind of a good picture, again, kind of talking with Sue kind of hand in hand. Canva has kind of adapted into using the chat GPT. So this image, text to image kind of thing. So you can kind of actually put in a word and it'll pop out an image here for you if it's relevant for your company. So again, with like Sue had said, chat GPT can also kind of help with the social media posts and stuff in the program of Canva. So now with all good things, obviously, there are the downsides of using AI, and you kind of have to keep this in mind when you are thinking about bringing this into your small business. One of the things is the cost of actually implementing AI. So a lot of what I've kind of showed you is kind of stuff that's already kind of pre-built and basic. If you're looking for something that's very specific to your industry, that's where it can kind of get a little costly. Usually with AI building, it can take 3 months to 36 months or longer to get a program that's built specifically for you to do specific things. The reason why it can take so long is obviously the coding for that and the training for the AI program. Usually AI needs a lot of historical data in order for it to make these decisions kind of on its own. So you kind of have to have a lot of that ready to go for the system to kind of feed off of to make these decisions. And with that in mind as well, once you get all of that data into it, you also want to continue to feed it new data so that it's able to make current decisions and continue to learn so that it's able to keep up. And that again is going to take some time because you're going to have to make sure that the system has access to that. So, and that can cost some money in order to keep that up to date. So another big technical is the technical complexity of AI. So I had talked about coding. I have no idea about coding any of that whatsoever. In fact, my 11-year-old daughter has coding that they're actually teaching in class at school. She asked me, in fact, last night about some coding stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea. You're talking a foreign language to me. When you get into a specific program built for you, that is a lot of coding and specialization that has to go into building that program. And if something was to go awry for that, you have to know exactly what code does what, and you need to have a pretty big technical background in order to figure that all out. So that is kind of a big thing that you have to kind of keep in mind when you're looking into implementing AI. Also, if you have an older customer base and you have AI that's kind of coming up, you're gonna kind of have to, it's harder for them to kind of figure out what's going on. I know with older people, new stuff's a little scary. So you also have to kind of keep that in mind as well. Which kind of also kind of goes hand in hand with the next thing. AI can kind of lack that human touch. Some people just like to talk with a human being. I know I've been in the spot where I've been on this phone with an AI program screaming representative because I want to talk to somebody and I don't want to have to talk about like my account information and stuff like that. I just want to talk with a person to get my problem fixed. And a lot with when you're working with an AI program, you have to kind of avoid that boxed response. So you can kind of tell, obviously with a chatbot, it's going to give you the exact same information. Even if you ask that question several different ways, it's going to give you a boxed question answer back. And sometimes that can kind of dehumanize your business, which can kind of be a little bit of a setback. So you got to kind of keep that in mind as well. And then AI kind of raises a lot of data privacy, ethical and trademark concerns. When you're having a AI program that you're constantly having it learn from data, you kind of have to have that backlog of data on hand. That can kind of have you open to attacks because you're having a lot of either customer history that have the system that's access to. It can also be accessed by hackers and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you have a good security system in place so that you don't have to worry about data breaches and stuff. Also, when AI is kind of be trained, you have to kind of be aware, especially if that AI is kind of hooked up to the internet, that it can pick up on biases, stereotypes, and general opinions like fake news and conspiracy theories. You obviously don't want your system coming back with some fake news information. So you want to be aware of what that can be a concern for you as well. And then also you kind of have to keep in mind with when an AI kind of comes back with, let's say, a logo for you, you're going to have to kind of keep in mind, okay, is this logo used for any other products or any other companies around? Because you got to keep in mind, AI is getting fed information from the internet. So you kind of have to be aware what exactly that information is and keep in mind that it could have been used somewhere else. So that kind of goes where you need to do your due diligence and make sure that this is unique to you and it's not used anywhere else, or it can kind of get you in some legal issues as well.
I think with trademark as well, like, I think Josh and I just received our first business plan done with ChatGPT or some version of it, which is great for a starter, but it was a completely not obscure, just like anyone's coffee shop. I don't think it was a coffee shop, but it's close to that. It was a restaurant. So it was just very generic, beautifully written, lots of fluffy words, which quite honestly don't really matter in a business plan. It's the planning that matters in a business plan. So using it more like writing in ChatGPT, the planning you've done. This is what I found, write a paragraph for this, then it's yours. or putting words into concept blocks. So really using that, not generically, because that just, he could have just went and bought a template and put his name in, different places. Plus it talked about a drive-through that they're not having, and talked about a bunch of stuff that they're not having. So obviously it wasn't read through. So using it to help save that time and gather information, organize, outline, but being very careful about, yourself handing in something that doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of branching off a little bit like that. AI right now is kind of actually scared a lot of, well, for example, education places. We actually had a couple of high schoolers that came and did some job shadowing with us. And Sue had actually asked, hey, have you guys heard about ChatGPT? That the quickest no came out of, well, yes, but they know that they can't use that program. That popped right out of their mouth. And that was kind of just really quick. So you have to kind of, right now, people are kind of scared in certain instances of using it. So they've basically said, don't use it at all, which in my opinion is not really a good thing to do either, because it's around and people are going to be using it whether you like it or not. So I had somebody that actually had a good saying, your job's not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by somebody who knows how to use AI. We have to kind of embrace this program and use it to our advantage. And again, we can't just let it do our job for us, because it's going to give us back a bunch of random stuff we did not want. So let's see here. Okay, so I've got some current examples of some AI that I've kind of brought together, which actually I'm gonna go back one slide. So this picture right here, actually an AI generated picture from Dolly, which is it's a little bit farther down, but I'm just right here. So I was like thinking about it. It's a text to picture tool essentially. So I put in let's see, what was it that I put in? I think I put in a warehouse full of cybersecurity or cyber hackers. And this is the picture it came back with. And I was like, well, that's kind of actually pretty cool. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's a little bit farther down, but I'll kind of go back on that. So what kind of really launched all of this was this program, ChatGPT. So it is actually, this is an actual picture of kind of what sort of looks like. You basically get a little prompt and you put in whatever you want. So I actually asked it, I'm creating a presentation on how AI can help small businesses. In simple terms, how can you explain what ChatGPT is and how it can be used in small businesses? And this is the exact prompt that it came back with. I mean, I can actually play this here, but I won't. But you can kind of read that there, and it kind of talks about exactly what it is, and kind of some examples of what of how it can help with small businesses. So this program is actually on version 3. When you're using ChatGPT 3, you do have to kind of keep a couple of things in mind. Well, the main one being that all of the data that the system was trained on, it only comes up to, I believe it was September of 2021. So anything after September 2021, this system actually is not aware of. Now come to version 4, which is still kind of in testing with beta. It actually has access to the internet, so it's got a constant flow of updated information, both good and bad. You do have to kind of keep that in mind. But this version 3, you do have to, so if I asked it, what was the weather like yesterday in Council Bluffs, it's gonna come back and say, I have no idea what it was. My training data only goes up to September of 2021. So ChatGPT, again, this is kind of what launched AI into the stratosphere here. To the point where Google is actually in process of developing its own ChatGPT. I believe it's called Bard. So it's in the process of doing that. Apple is also in the process of developing its own version of ChatGPT. I mean, it's kind of to the point where it's changing day to day. And that has, again, kind of goes back with fears and stuff like that. There's been several head leaders in the technology field that have actually written letters to both Google and Apple and Microsoft, just saying, hey, after we get done with this version, maybe we should step back and just kind of rethink things, because laws and stuff are kind of not really existent to what AI is kind of doing right now. So they want us to kind of stop and just let things kind of catch up and us to absorb this at a better rate. Yeah, so in fact, one of the things that's in the news right now is the Writers Guild strike. It is actually, they're on strike because they are in fear, not in fear of, I guess, their jobs getting basically phased out from AI. Basically, they are afraid that, let's say, a director wants to write an episode. They just send it to ChatGPT. Give me an episode for this show. It spits out this script and this screenplay. They're afraid that the director's going to take the screenplay, give it to the writer, and say, "Okay, fix this." It's a writer would be like, why didn't you just give it to me and I could have just wrote it? And they don't really necessarily want to sit there and clean up this thing that the AI processed out. So they're afraid they're going to start getting their pay docked for that. And also the way that a lot of copyright and stuff is written, it's written for people that in person, it has nothing to, it doesn't talk about AI. So there's a lot of fears about that right now, but it's in the process. We just kind of have to learn and adapt, I guess, as we can. So, yeah. Let me go on to the next one here.
Certainly, I'd be happy to explain what ChatGPT is.
There goes ChatGPT on my phone. Oh,
Certainly,
here we go.
I'd
Sorry. Let's see here. The next one. So this is kind of really cool. This Cynthia. It is an actual AI video creation platform. And I think I've got a little, oh no, I didn't program it in there. So basically what you can do is give the program a little bit of a script that you've written up. It can take that script, feed it into different scenes, and you can actually program a spokesperson. You can kind of pick from generated ones, or even in a couple of other ones, you can actually take pictures of yourself and it can upload that as your spokesperson. And you can give it a voice as well, your own voice if you would like. And it can spit out for example, a introduction video or a screen walkthrough. I think it might actually play
Hey,
right now.
I'm Alex, and here's a quick Synthesia product demo. To begin, choose from a wide variety of fully customizable video templates. Then, select your preferred AI avatar. Now, type in text in over 120 languages. And choose a narration style or local accent. Next, start editing your video. Easily change colors to match your brand identity and upload your logo or other brand assets that you can reuse for future videos. Alternatively, you can choose from a library of millions of royalty-free media assets such as videos, images, icons, and more. Add your text and position everything easily thanks to the snapping function. And if you need, you can also add a soundtrack. Record quick videos of your screen with a built-in screen recorder, so you don't have to jump in between apps. Trim and crop your recording and adapt it to your scene. Animate elements by dropping markers in your script. It's an easy, satisfying, and super quick way to make your video look more professional. When you're ready, click Generate Video and include or exclude automatic closed captions. Share your video with your team to get feedback and add comments. If you need to make changes, simply edit your video, adjust it, and generate a new one in minutes. Finally, when your video is ready, you can download it, share it, or embed it. And that's it. Try it for yourself today. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
So yeah, you can kind of notice, like when she's talking, it looks a little off. Obviously, this is kind of the beginning phase of this AI process. That's just going to get even better. So that word to mouth movement is going to get better. But that's kind of a really quick version of what this program can do. You got to think, in order to do that on your own, you'd have to hire that person out, do the video, and actually have the equipment and stuff like that. I think on average, like for a 3-5 minute video can range from $1,000 to $3,000. This program just did it all real quick. So yeah, that's one of the really cool ones. I have another one here that's a Reels AI, which kind of does the exact same thing. I won't click on this one, but this one I actually tailored to the SBDC. So I just kind of gave it a couple of highlights from our website. I picked a guy to do the talking, and it added automatically some pictures and stuff that would kind of correlate with the video. It's really cool. So, but yeah, that link will actually, it's really cool. But you can click on that at another time. Here's another really cool one, this Looka. It's an AI powered logo generation design program. You put in your business name and a couple of little other tidbits of information, it'll spit out an actual like logo that could match your business. It'll pick, and you can kind of pick which one you would like. Again, the caveat of this, and this is in the terms and conditions with that, you do have to do your due diligence to make sure that that's not going to interfere with any other trademarks and stuff that are already for companies that are using logos that could look like yours. So I would use this kind of as maybe a little bit of inspiration if you're just kind of totally dead stuck of what you want to do. And it can kind of help you maybe jog some creative juices and stuff like that. So I know I'm kind of getting a little bit over here, so I'm going to kind of quickly speed a little bit through here. Pictory AI, again, is another kind of text to video. This one is just more, it doesn't have like a spokesperson. It does have a voiceover. In this one, which I'm not going to play the video, but I just basically took our last blog post and I fed it into the system, and it spit out this awesome video about mastering the art of writing a killer job description. It added pictures that it thought was relevant, which there's a couple of them in there that I didn't actually fix, but it did a pretty good job. I think this is like a 9-minute video, but I'm going to kind of skip over that since we're a little on time.
We talked to Robin Porter, Director of Human Resources at Iowa West.
Pause that there. Okay. Dolly E2, again, going back to that picture that I had said that was the den of hackers. This is the program that did it. You just feed it a detailed description, as much detail as you want, and it'll spit out a picture. So like for this first one, blue house in the woods by a brook with a bridge over the water, this is what it spit out. this one is a little weird because it looks like the bridge is going through the house, but that's a little weird. It's not perfect, so but you can kind of use this for a little bit of inspiration. The second one, a stained glass window of a robot. It gave me a couple of different choices. So it's a really cool kind of program that's out there that can kind of help you, again, use it as a tool to kind of inspire you if you'd like. And then this one kind of talks about Microsoft's Copilot. It's currently in beta and stuff, but it takes all of the programs that is under the Microsoft house and it ties everything together with an AI. So it's able to access certain things. And for example, like let's say you're doing a meeting, AI can actually take the notes for you. If you have a person that's in a different country that speaks a different language, it can automatically translate the meeting for you in real time. If you were talking with two different people and you want, hey, I need a progress report on such and such by the end of next week, it'll access those people's calendars and actually mark those, put an appointment on there to do that. It's kind of crazy. Again, I have a video here, but I'm going to kind of skip over it because again, I'm a little running on time here. So, but yeah. So this is kind of a list of the resources that I kind of talked about and that are featured kind of in the program. There is a lot here. So, and this is just the tip of the iceberg with programs that are out there right now. So if you're looking to kind of start implementing it, do some research, kind of check out other programs, make sure they kind of fit with you. So, because there's a lot out there. So, and with that, that's pretty much it.
All right, well, I didn't see any questions. But any of the stuff that when we go through this, having an appointment with myself or Josh, we can kind of work with your specific business. Like this gets pretty big sky overview, and it's like, okay, how do I put that into my business? And so we can certainly meet with you one-on-one, and that's what we do. I don't know if I said that at the top. We're a free resource for small businesses and specialize mostly in doing one-on-one types of appointments. And then we, of course, do these monthly. Next month, we will send that out again. That is going to be on spam and predatory types of businesses to just be knowledgeable about and watch out for. So that is the next month. And I believe it's on the 9th or 10th as well, whatever the Tuesday is. So, all right. So again, no more questions. So thank you all for joining us, and we will eventually have this up on our website. We have a couple tweaks to do. So that will be up on our website, iowawestern.sbdc.com. Probably by next week. So thanks for coming. And if you're listening to the recording, thanks for listening to us. And again, give us a call when you need to. Thanks.